Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashata Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavande ki jai, Namacharya Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone, welcome.
Hare Krishna ma.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we are at chapter 12. So this is the last chapter on Bhakti. So from tomorrow it will be on Jnana. There are very less shlokas, like 20 shlokas in this chapter, but still many stories in this. So let's see. So Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to Understand Gita in 18 days. So day 12, chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. So actually Bhakti means only devotion, but then Prabhupada named it as service because when there is love, there is a service. So how do you express your love to someone? So only when we do some service for them, only in that way we can express our love. So similarly, how do we express our love to Krishna? By serving the Lord. So Prabhupada gave it as devotional service. So let's pay our obeisances to Sri Sri Radha Govind, ISKCON Mangaluru, it is, and to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Overview of the chapter. Arjuna's inquiry, personalist or impersonalist, who is better? He wants to know, a person who is worshipping the personal form of the Lord, is he better, or somebody who worship the impersonal form, like thinking the Lord to be a light or something? So who is better? And then Krishna starts explaining both, and what is the difficulty or which is better, personalist versus impersonalist. So, and supremacy of Krishna Bhakti. So progressive stages of Bhakti. So here Krishna explains like to all of us, we are in a different stages of Bhakti. So if we cannot do the highest, so Ananya Bhakti, and then what are the other things we can do? If somebody is not able to do 24 hours, we can't think of the Lord, then what? So Krishna goes on giving the options. So how one can develop love for Krishna gradually. And then he explains about the qualities that endear Krishna. What are the qualities of a pure devotee that endears the Lord? Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukta ye bhaktas paryupasate ye chapyaksharavam avyaktam teshanke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So why is Arjuna asking this question, that whether personal feature is good or impersonal? So basically, even the yesterday's chapter, it deals with a Vishwarupa, which is also an impersonal feature of the Lord. So because then by seeing this Vishwarupa, people should not mistake that is the highest. No? That is not a personal form of the Lord. It's an impersonal feature, because you can't have a personal service to the Lord in that form. And also Arjuna, he is attached to Krishna's personal form. So he wants to have a validation, kind of validation from the Lord that he is on the right path. So that is the reason he is asking, which is better. So the 3 stages of God realization we learned in the chapter 2. The first one is Brahman, and second is Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan is the highest. So Brahman realization is nothing but the effulgence of the Lord. So we saw yesterday how Lord's effulgence was compared to thousands of suns coming up on the sky at once, right? That is the effulgence of the Lord was compared. So this effulgence is nothing but the Brahman realization is the light which is emanating from the Lord's body, transcendental body. And then the Paramatma feature, this Paramatma, can somebody tell which chapter did we see this? Which chapter the yogi meditates upon the Paramatma feature? Which was that chapter? Yes. Which was the chapter where the yogi meditates on the Paramatma feature of the Lord? Actually, many places it is mentioned, but particularly on that we had a chapter. You know the 8 stages. Okay, do I have any answer? Chapter 6, Mataji. It is chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. The last one, Samadhi. Samadhi is like becoming one, not becoming one. So connecting to the Lord, that 8-limb connection we saw, no? That the last one is Samadhi, where the yogi sees this Paramatma feature of the Lord. He meditates upon the feature, okay? So then the highest is Bhagwan. So Krishna many places says that he is person, he should be worshipped as a person. And also in yesterday, after showing all that universal form and then the 4 feature of Vishnu form, Krishna comes back to his normal 2-handed form, and he says that this is very rare. Even Devatas want to see this form. It is very rare to see. That we understood, no? Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Teme Yukta Tamo Mataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be the most perfect. So Krishna validates that you are on the right path to Arjuna, because the one who meditates upon Krishna's personal form, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Adi. So Nama, Rupa, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastime, this whoever meditates on these things is considered to be the highest, Krishna says. So even Prabhupada says that the deities that are there in temple, no, we can see here the pujari is decorating the deity. So basically it is considered as a person, and in the temple, like early morning, the god is waken up early morning and he is given rabdi, the sweet. He's woken up by giving the sweet, and then before going inside they do the conch shell blowing before going into, and then means like, it is like knocking the door. So doing the conchal, then then the door will be opened, and then the Manglarti will be sung, right? And then after the Manglarti, Samsara Dava and Narsimha Arati will be there, and Tulsi Arati. After all that, then devotees will do the japa. After that, again 7:30 there'll be a Darshan Arati, and then again there'll be prasad. I mean morning there'll be bhog will be given for Lord, and then again afternoon. And many big temples every day they do the Chappan Bhog. So every day they'll offer to Lord. And after that, the evening, the afternoon, the deities will be made to sleep, and by saying some kirtan. And then again evening there'll be aarti, and then again night before going to bed they'll be done all that. So Prabhupada says that you must have seen in that video when I show how to see God. In that video, Prabhupada says that are these people, I mean, are they fools, the acharyas, that they just like that they say that the God is there in the deities? He is actually there. Krishna, out of mercy, he takes the form of the deity form. It can be in any other, like there are many metals and wood. He can come in a wood form, or he can be in the form of brass, or many other things. There are different things which is mentioned as per the Narada Pancharatra Vidhi. So all the rituals are performed as per the rules and regulations, Narada Pancharatra Vidhi. So even in Nectar of Devotion, there's a shloka which Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhupada says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Hare Bhaktir Utpata Taiva Kalpate. So that ritual which is not following the Pancharatra Vidhi, then that is something who is following as per their own thing. So that is a disturbance in a society. So basically, this is properly done because this Shila is also carved as per the Shilpa Kala based on that rules, and also it has been established by a bona fide Acharya by saying as per the Pancharatra Vidhi they have done that. So it is having a significance. I mean, there is so that is why we feel that power when we go to temple, no? So it is properly, we cannot maintain in that way in a house, right? We cannot be so strictly, it is very difficult for us. So Krishna says here the personal form is the highest. Even in the chapter 6, Krishna declares, like after explaining about all the Ashtanga Yoga, he says that Yoginamapi sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam tame yukta tamo mataha. So of all the yogis, the devotee, who is engaged in his service, is considered to be the highest. So what is the difference between idol worship and deity worship? Okay. So can someone tell what is the difference between a idol worship and a deity worship?
Mataji, may I try?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I think the idol, when it is brought to the temple and it is worshipped, it becomes a deity.
Okay. Okay. Let's hear from others also. I'll tell after that. Yes. Anyone else want to try? No one? No one want to give a try? Okay. So basically, the deity is not to be called as idols. Okay. Idol means the people's idol, like Mahatma Gandhi or Ambedkar, like the statues with the politicians also, which they install, no, on the roads and all. So those are called as idols. It is not a deity. Okay. Deity means only for the God, and also how correctly it is established by a bona fide sampradaya, which is, I mean, Acharya. So idol means we know, like how during the Gandhi Jayanti, right? Gandhi Jayanti, usually the idol will be cleaned. They'll clean nicely, and they'll put the garland and all, and they'll do big speeches on that day. And then again, nobody will see that for 1 year. But it's not like that in case of deity. No, deity has to be taken care like a person every day. So idol is different, and that is why we should not call the deities as idols. So that is the difference. And this is our Radha Govind. This is from a picture from morning Aarti time. So you all can join for morning Aarti. It will start at 4:30. Temple link. एत्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone. Such person engaged in the welfare of all at last achieving. So the people who meditate upon the impersonal feature of the Lord. So Krishna says here, it is beyond the sense of perception of senses. So how can we meditate on something on light? It is very difficult, no, to meditate something on which there is no form. So here Krishna says, but these the jnanis or mayavadis, what they do, they meditate on the light form of the Lord, and then Prabhupada says they go to Brahmajyoti, they get liberation, they go to Brahmajyoti, okay, that is below the Vaikuntha planet, the light, but then they can't stay there for long time because there is no service there, and then they again come back to this material world. So, and then what do? Because they are pious people, they were engaged, they all engage in this philanthropic works like constructing of hospitals or the old age homes or the schools and these things for helping people. So they come like that, they take birth again and again until it will take a lot of years, because Krishna says, no, bahunam janman amante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. It will take many years for one to understand that Krishna is the highest. Bahunam janman amante. We saw no, that how in that marathon only very few will make it to the end. So similarly, only very few people will be able to understand that Krishna is the ultimate. So they'll take many births, Krishna says in that. So here, these people, they work, but in Bhakti Yoga, it teaches us that why we have to serve the Lord, because it is a dharma of the soul, and also we are part and parcel of the soul. So yasmin tushte jagat tushte. When we are serving the Lord, automatically we get happy. Yasmin tushte means when you satisfy, when you water the root of a plant, the whole plant get nourished, no? So so all the leaves, stem, everything will get nourished. So similarly, when we serve the Lord, when we start serving the Lord, what happens? Everything becomes good around us, and need not be, it is very difficult for us to satisfy everyone in our lives. It is not possible. So in one way, if you satisfy Krishna, you will get that satisfaction. So that is possible only in Bhakti Yoga. Now Krishna further explains what is the difficulty in meditating upon the impersonal feature of the Lord. Klesho adhikatarastesham avyaktasakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavatpir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So basically, Krishna says, what do you mean by embodied? Embodied means we are actually the soul. It is not that I am this body and I have mind, intelligence, ego, and then inside I have a soul. It's not like that. Basically, it is the other way. We are soul. Soul is covered by mind, intelligence, false ego, and then again outwardly it is covered by this body. But we identify this ourselves with the body. We forget that we are souls. So because we are covered, we are called as embodied. Krishna calls it as embodied. So for an embodied means the soul, which has a body, it is very difficult to attach his mind on the unmanifested. How do you think of something? If somebody asks you to imagine anything, if you close your eyes, if somebody mentions about some object or anything, immediately it comes to your mind. But then if you have to meditate on something blank, it's very difficult for us, no? For a long time and many years. And Brahma Samhita also says, Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo Vayo ratapi manaso munipungavaanam sopyasti yat prapadasimi avichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Pantastu koti. I mean, by controlling their breaths, the yogis do the incoming and controlling of the breath, and they do for many, many, many years. After many, many, many years, they will be able to see the Paramatma feature of the Lord. That is not the highest, not the Bhagwan. So that is why Krishna says here the advancement is very troublesome in this, and especially not recommended for this Kali Yuga, because this needs many, many years of tapas, no? So how is it possible? And one has to go to forest and all that. So it is not very easy. You have to control your senses and mind. And for Kali Yuga, this is not at all recommended. So what is the recommended for this Yuga? So we know that the sacrifices, the prescribed dharma for the 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, it was meditation. So the yogis used to meditate for many, many years, like 50,000, 60,000 years, right? So they had such a kind of lifespan then. And then they were able to see the Lord. Then Treta Yuga, the same thing was possible by performing sacrifices. And in Dwapar Yuga, by elaborate temple worship. And in the Kali Yuga, same thing can be achieved, that God realization, just by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Because God's name and God, both are non-different. No? Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So there's so much strong, the name of it has so much of potency in the name of the Lord. So that is why the chanting is for this Kali Yuga. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their mind upon me, O son of Pratha. For them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna will not take much time. Krishna says, swift deliverer. So if somebody is sincerely engaged in devotional service, he will quickly deliver them. And also in chapter 9, he says, no, apichet suduracharaha, means even if somebody is engaged in an abominable activity, but still he should be considered as sadhu because he is on a right path. So it's an advantage here in Bhakti Yoga that if you are engaged, Krishna's mercy will get soon, because it is so powerful. Bhakti Yoga is very powerful. And also Krishna says how he protects his devotee. In yesterday we saw, no, how he protects, just like the devotees are like in the hand of a cat. It is like a kitten in the hand of a cat, in the mouth of cat. Otherwise, it is like a mouse in the mouth of a cat. So it's just like that. And Krishna delivers from all the miseries. He see, this material world is compared to the ocean of miseries. No? So for this, we need we need to surrender to a bona fide Acharya, and only through his guidance we'll be able to understand the Lord. So in Kali Yuga, so if a person decides that I will go to mountain and focus on Brahman. So this sadhu is thinking of going to mountain and meditating on Lord. So what will happen? He thinks, oh, then it's too cold, I can't go there. I'll go to desert and focus. Oh, it's too hot. And then he says, I will go to forest and focus. What if tiger attacks me? So what can I do in Kali Yuga? So it is the easy one. Wherever we are, we can chant. No, there is no time restrictions. There is no directions. Not like that. Or before sleep, after sleep, nothing like that. In 24 hours, anytime, walking, sitting, anywhere we can chant. So no restrictions at all. So it's the easy, no. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So even in the Shastras it is said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti Gatir Anyata. In Kali Yuga, There is no other way, no other way, no other way except the chanting of holy name. So now Krishna starts explaining about the different so what are, I mean, in different way, if you are the from highest, he starts explaining which is the highest one to worship the Lord, and then starts to give option. If you cannot do this, then what? So the first one, Mayyave Mayyeva mana adhasva Mayi buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyasi Mayyeva Atha urdvam na samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. So, Ananya Bhakti means 24 hours thinking about the Lord. So, this is for the pure devotees, like the Radharani, the Gopikas, and the cowherd boys. No, always for them, they did not struggle. Like they did not, like for us, we have to be reminded to chant, or we have to be reminded to attend classes. Right? We need a reminders for everything. But then for them, they always remember. So they always think it is just like for them. If Prabhupada gives an example, like if there is the child is away from home, if the mother sees any of its thing, no, connected with the child, so immediately she remembers the child. So similarly, the pure devotees, whatever they see in the creation, they see with the connection to the Lord. You see that it belongs to Krishna. So they can't even. So there's a pastime where when Radharani was angry with Krishna, and she didn't wanted to see him at all, and then she says that even the color of her sakis, I mean the hair, when she sees that also, it reminds her of Krishna. Means they can't even see anything without Krishna. So they see Krishna in everything. So that is, there's so much of love. So in Gita, Bhagavad Gita says us that the highest and the most fulfilling thing is the love for Krishna, nothing else, because he is our eternal father and the eternal relationship we have with Krishna. And Krishna says, Surudam Sarva Bhutanam, I am the well-wisher, benefactor for all the living entities. So the intimate relationship that we can have is with the Lord, but this is the highest. Now, next comes the sadhana bhakti. So what if I can't remember 24 hours, then what should I do? Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tataha mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So, okay, if you cannot do for 24 hours, you can't, at least you can do the, how do we purify our senses, engage in the Bhakti Yoga. So he says, do the sadhana bhakti. So Prabhupada has given how many rounds to chant, 16 rounds. And then he has asked, like, you have to attend the Mangalarti, and then you have to take prasad, you have to offer the Lord at home, right? And then take the prasad, eating Satvik Krishna Prasad, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, being in the association of devotees, reading Prabhupada books. These are all comes in the sadhana bhakti. So it is just like what will happen by seeing that Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So soon, chanting, our heart will get cleansed, because it has become very, it is very dusty. It is full of anarthas now. No? So, but then by chanting, what happens? It purifies us. The name will purify. So it is just like somebody is taken up some sport. Okay, somebody is learning first time, like badminton or something. So what will happen? First, immediately they will not be given to play. So he will be first, the coach, what he will tell, he will just ask to run here and there in the court itself. Somebody of you know that the positions, he will only ask to take the positions, no? Like until he become familiarized with the plays and all that, how to. So before giving the cock and this one, they'll do that. So similarly, before sending to, before we go to spiritual world, what are we going to do there? Now we should know what is to be done. So in spiritual world also we should be trained. Otherwise, what are we going to do? So for that, the acharyas has given this all sadhana thing. So we have to learn that. So now we are in a learning stage. So just like how the driver controls, in while driving, in you are learning first time the car. So we are only doing the steering, the control of clutch and gear, everything will be with the instructor. He will be controlling it. So similarly, we are like, now we have to only act as per what Acharya has told. So then once we become expert, then what happens? Automatically that meditation comes to us. We keep remembering the Lord. So next comes Nishkama Karma Yoga. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartamapi karmani kurvan siddhimavapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulation of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So, okay, you say that, oh, I don't have time, 2 hours, how will I do the chanting? No, I don't have time. So here, you can involve in the service by Nishkama Karma Yoga. Means without Nishkama Karma, means without any desire, working. So means even if you're working, so in this 2 ways. In one way is that person engaging completely in the service of the Lord all the time. Okay, that is direct service, doing his work, serving directly to the Lord. And the other way is that you work in some company, but then you offer the fruit to the Lord. So this comes as a Nishkama Karma. Not only that, if somebody is able to give some time, okay, so somebody can, you can invest your time in the service of Lord, or you can give your intelligence, like we have like this temple. So it basically works from volunteers, in the sense it runs by the donors and the volunteers who actually come forward and they do some service, or you're spreading something or telling something to the spreading about the courses that is going to start, because you're not going to get anything, in that. I mean, that is, you will get eternal benefit, but then not for any material return. We are not expecting anything. So that is why it is called as Nishkama Karma. So here, this is a Alfred Ford. His name is he's an initiated devotee of Prabhupada. He's Amrish Das. So this is the Mayapur temple, which is coming up in Mayapur. It's called as TVOP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium. So where Prabhupada's dream, he want to show the complete world. So how exactly this planetary system are placed, the 14 planetary system, the Brahma creates, So that will be shown there in like a 3D kind. So that everybody get to know what is mentioned in our Shastras. So he has given a very huge contribution. He's still giving. It is said he has given more than 500 crores, 350 to 500 crores he has contributed for this temple. So it is still, I think it is another 2 years, they say, for that to complete. So this is also a Nishkama Karma, because most of his earning he is giving to the temple. But he is working. Somebody can read this purport. This is from Prabhupada purport.
Ma, can I read?
Yeah, please.
There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So, even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity.
Yeah. See, if just imagine if Prabhupada had not established these ISKCON temples. So how do you think this preaching would go on? It was very difficult, no? How is it possible? It would never have been possible if he had not introduced the temples. So it is very necessary. Now the current temple, which ISKCON Mangaluru, we are there in that is a private, okay? Private in the sense it's a rented one. So now the new, the place has been acquired like 1.5 acres. I'll just show you that. So now the temple is coming up. Okay. So I'll just quickly show you that before we proceed this here. I just want to show you the temple. So this is the place. Okay, this was the first when it was took I think around 1.5 acres land. This is in a Kulai, Mangalore. You all may be knowing Karnataka, Mangalore. So you all are next year. By next year, you all can visit. The temple will be ready. So the first time when devotees met, and he's our His Grace Namanishta Prabhuji, who is the president and who is the brain behind this all the courses, right? He's the thing, and then so this is where ashrama is coming for the bachelors, and the temple basement and the guest house for all the devotees who come for them to stay. And this is the plan. This is how the temple is going to look like. So you can see here, such a beautiful temple is going to come up. And this project is spread over 1.5 acre, 75,000 square feet of construction to cost around 15 crore. So 5,000 square feet temple hall, very huge temple hall, and Annadan hall. And they're going to be a Govinda's restaurant, steam kitchen also, and Goshala also, there's a plan. So guest room, Brahmachari ashram, open air auditorium, seminar hall, Kalyani. So project is expected to complete by 2024. So for this, we would require, temple requires a lot of contribution. I mean, whatever you are possible from your end, you can do. So this is also a seva to the Lord. So there we have different sevas, one-time seva, monthly seva, another, and then sponsor a brick. This is for a temple. You can sponsor a brick. I think one brick is costing 5,000 something they have kept. So like that, and then a square feet. So like different is there, and then our membership you can take. Membership, when you take, you get a Bhagavatam set free, which is costing around 7,000-8,000, which comes free and along with some other books also. So you can opt for a membership, and there are a lot of benefits when you take membership. Like around the world, whenever you go to ISKCON in a year, I think around 4 days or 1 week, you can stay there for free, even in the abroad or anywhere in the world. So ISKCON membership, international membership, it will cost around 35,500, and you can also pay in installments. And so that is there. And Dharmakarta Seva. So there are Dharmadhikari Seva, that is around 1 lakh, 2 lakh, like that. Highest is 10 lakh, Mahamukhya Dharmadhikari Seva. So these things we will share in the group. You can go through in the detail. And then, okay, for NRIs, this is any request you have, you can also mail to President's email ID, namadas@gmail.com. Okay, and then I want to show you a quick video of the temple. Okay, it's very beautiful thing.
I'm standing at the entrance of the project, and where I'm standing at this place is a big gap. This is the place the Raj Gopura or the Katta Gopura will come, and both the sides we will have the shops where we can distribute Bhagavad Gita in all the languages, all prasadam, various paraphernalia, chappal stand, all this will come at this place. The last stages of the temple shaping, this huge pit has been made, and I think last time when I showed you last month it was half of that. Now within 2-3 days this will finish now, and the construction of the temple is about to start. So Hare Krishna. So this will be, as I explained you last time, the whole what you're seeing at the ground floor, this whole thing will be actually the Annadana hall, where we will be distributing prasadam to the public, and above that will be 2 stories of the temple. Temple is double story, so the temple will come, and this construction we should finish within 1 year time. That is our desire. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So now you can have a look at the ashram, and you see the big development here. We have now finished 1 floor. So this has been going at a good speed, We finish in 3 months' time. The whole ashram should be over. The first slab is coming, and then we will have one more floor, and that's all. It's a 2-story structure. The ashram, we have here 8 dormitories. And there are 8 dormitories, and this will be the bathroom. They're disconnected. So you can see here from that the house you are seeing from that house right till you can see till the road on the other end. Yes, till that time this is our big piece in which we have a 5-story structure coming. In fact, this is the biggest building we have, and where we are now, this will be the 3rd story which will come. And in this structure we are having at the bottom parking, and then we will have one side we are having a dormitory for students to come and stay. On top of that we have Govinda's restaurant. On top of that we have 2 stories of guest house. On this side we have parking at the bottom. Then we have 2 stories of what do you call it, the steam kitchen. A huge steam kitchen is coming which can cook for 5,000 people at a time, and on top of that 2 stories of guest house. So this is the structure. We still not started construction, but it is all cut and kept ready. Hare Krishna. So I hope this is the update, and as the construction is picking up, we need your support so that we can finish this construction in a very short time. Hare Krishna.
Okay, that was the new temple which is coming up. I think this is a month back video, 2 month back. Now it is must be further construction is on a full zone. So so how much ever possible from your side, you also please do be a part of this, so we can just become an instrument, no, in the hand of God. So we can help someone. That's what Prabhupada said. If you can't do direct, at least you can help someone who is doing this. No, now President, he is doing. He has taken up this preaching the Krishna consciousness. So we can help him in any way, like giving our time or money or word, anything. So next comes the 4th one. So the first one was Ananya Bhakti, the second one Sadhana Bhakti, the third one Nishkama Karma that we saw now, and now it is a Sakama Karma. So the first 3 is connected to Krishna. That is why it was called as Yoga. So Ananya Bhakti. So here Nishkama Karma. So here there is no direct God is not there, but then you are helping, like doing good things like charity, doing charity or helping people. These all things comes in Sakama Karma. Athai dadapya shaktosi kartumadyogamashitaha sarvam karma palatyagam tatakuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all result of your work and try to be self-situated. So like helping the other people. So it is like not directly connected to Krishna, but then slowly that person will come. It's compared to like a wet wood. In a wet wood, it is very difficult. If you put fire, the catching of a fire will take many, a long time. No? So as many birth it will take for the person to come to a Nishkama Karma. One who is engaged in this, only the charity kind of work or helping or building this orphanages and these things. So this is not yoga, but then this is also good. Krishna says, Krishna gives marks for this. He says, at least if you can't do that, do this. This is also good. So now next is dhyana and jnana. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnana dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma palatyagaha tyaga chantiranantaram. Okay. If you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So if somebody cannot do any of the first four, then at least cultivating knowledge, like understanding that I am not a body, I am spirit soul. So that is just on a knowledge level, no? That is jnana. So, and then doing the meditation and also the jnana. So this is not connected to Lord. This is the least. Now Krishna starts explaining of the qualities of a pure devotee. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitrah karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukka sukhakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dhrida nischayah mayyarpita mano buddhihi yo madbhakta same priyaha. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So Krishna is always like someone who is not envious. No, many places Krishna says, he says that Arjuna, I choose you to give this highest knowledge because you are non-envious. You are anasuyave, he calls him. No? Why we are all envious of Krishna? The proof is that we are in material world is itself the proof that we are all envious of Krishna. We wanted to enjoy without Krishna. We wanted to enjoy. We didn't want it to be a part of Krishna's enjoyment. We wanted to enjoy alone. So that is why we have come here. So Krishna is equal to all, but then he has a special that is always there. No, the one who is in giving so much of love, who is meditating upon Lord all the time, he has a special affection towards such devotee. So he's not he's a friend to all living entities. So that means he treats everyone on a soul level. No, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakesha Pandita Samadarshinaha. The one who is in realized knowledge, who is transcendental, who is above this three mode, he sees everyone, a dog, an elephant, a brahmana, and a dog eater, everyone as the same, because he sees the soul. No, that is why Krishna says, because who is a friend to all, because everyone, Krishna, all the living entities come from Krishna. Sarvayonishu kaunteya aham bija pradapita. So for him, everybody are same. So that is why he likes someone who treats all the living entities as a friend, who does not think himself as a proprietor. So whatever he does not think himself. He thinks that whatever is happening, I'm just an instrument in the hand of God. No, it's just an example, like a flute. A flute, so many melodies come out of flute. But then flute should not think that, oh, from me, all this melody is coming. I'm so great. Then we will think, oh, so how foolish. Because the person who is playing the flute is that. So similarly, whatever is happening, if even we are doing all the good things, we have to think that Krishna is using me as an instrument. Then that ego will not come. So here Krishna says, and who is equal in both happiness and distress. So Prabhupada also, like, he was always same. Even after getting so much of opulence also, Prabhupada remained simple. He never changed. He was same in the happiness and in distress. Who is tolerant, who is always satisfied. So this tolerance also, like even Arjun, after he got all this knowledge, he was so tolerant. Like even when his son died, but then he tolerated. No, Krishna also says in chapter 2, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha. Means it is just like the happiness and distress that come in the material world is like a season. The season come and go. So similarly, happiness come and go. You have to tolerate, Arjuna. He says you should tolerate. So Arjuna, so even after his son died, the next day he comes to fight, to the war. He comes. So that tolerant, because he thinks that he's doing for a pleasure of Lord, not for his sense thing. So always satisfied, self-control, engaged in devotional service and determination. So this is Sanatana Goswami. Did I tell this story of Sanatana Goswami? That a couple who is very poor and they come to him for asking Chintamani. Did I tell this story?
I don't think so, Mataji, but we would love to hear it again, even if you had said.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll say once again, or I don't know. Okay, so basically, Sanatana Goswami is one of our acharya. Okay, so he heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was a minister and he was a very scholarly person. He was he served in Muhammadin's government. I mean, 500 years back when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, that time. In so he knew so many languages: Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, English, and many other languages. But after all that, and then when he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he leaves his job and he takes up the he realizes, and then he becomes a sannyasi, right? So actually, to understand spirituality also, it is not possible. Everyone, no, you should be so much purified. So that, but so unless that, they will not be able to understand. So he gave up everything and he become the devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So once what happens, he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. He used to sit. I mean, they were not even sitting on a same tree, below a same tree, the acharyas, because they would feel that maybe if they can get attachment to the tree. So they didn't want attachment. So every day they would sit in a different place. So this person was, the Acharya he was chanting. So all the time. So he had one couple, very poor couple. The wife tells the husband that I have heard that this Sanatana Goswami is having a Chintamani. So Chintamani is a gem which can which can fulfill any of the desires. Means whatever you ask, it will give. So he is having that a gem, I've heard. So can you please check? Go and ask him, because anyways he is a sadhu, he is not making use of it. At least we can take it and we can become rich, she says. And then the husband comes to him, and then husband asks him, so what is it? Where is it? Do you have it? He says, yes, I have. See, there somewhere I put in the dustbin. I mean, he is for him it is so negligent. He had thrown it somewhere in the corner in the house. And then he goes and takes it, and he says, he goes off, and then with that Chintamani, whatever he decided, he could make it. They had a big house, they had all the jewelry, whatever for his wife, and nice food items, everything they made. So he became very rich. And after many months, the wife again says, her husband, see, I think this Sanatana Goswami must be having something even more highest within. So otherwise, why has he given this Chintamani? Can you go and ask him? What does he have? Something. So then he comes and he says that, my wife says that you are having something else. So you are more happier. So what is that? And then he says, yes, I have. I can give you. But for that, you will have to throw that Chintamani in the river and then come. So you ask him to throw it. And then when he comes, he gives in the holy name. The chanting Hare Krishna mantra he gives. So this is the highest, because he gets so much sweet. They get that because they have the taste. They have developed the taste. He get the taste. So this is like they're unattached. There is not even. He does not think himself as a proprietor and is false and free from false ego. So this person. So this is a pastime which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So now next quality. Yasma no dvijate lokaha loka no dvijate jayaha harsha marsha bhavodvegaihi mukto yasya cha me priyaha. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. So who does not, no one is put into difficulty. Though he will be in difficulty, he will not put anyone. Prabhupada, when he went to the USA, he didn't have a proper place to live. And sometimes he used to live in a place where even the in-house, they cook non-veg, no? But he is a pure devotee. He used to cook for himself, but he tolerated all that. He was there because he had no other choice. So he was not giving any difficulty for anyone. Wherever he was just adjusting. So who is equipoised in happiness and distress. So fear and anxiety. Also the Prahlad Maharaj, no? Prahlad Maharaj, he was no anxiety only. There was no fear in him because he always so much namasmaran of Vishnu. He was always meditating upon Vishnu. He was fearless. So the devotees are fearless. So this is a story from Bhagavatam, Chitraketu. was a great devotee of the Lord. So once what happens, Lord Shiva was telling the Bhagavatam to all the great sages were there. We can see Narada Muni also here. And then what his wife was sitting on his lap. So by seeing that, this Chitraketu Maharaj, he laughs. Actually, Lord Shiva did not take any offense. He didn't, because he understands, he knows that he is a devotee of Vishnu, and he didn't mean to defame him. But then he what he meant was, so if Lord Shiva is making sit like that, what will be the example that he is giving to the world, or something like that? He means, and he laughs. But then Mother Parvati took it very offensively. She got very upset that how dare he, that he could laugh at my husband. And then she curses him. She says that you become a demon in your next life. And then he become Vrittasura, a demon. So then he falls at her feet, and then he says that he happily accepts that I can do that. So then Lord Shiva says, see Parvati, can you see the devotee of Vishnu? They're so humble. Actually, it says that Vishnu, because Vishnu devotee, he could have reversed also, because he was so powerful, he was a great devotee. But then he didn't do. He happily accepted. He called their mother, and then he accepted. And then he becomes Ritasura and a very big demon. And after that, Indra only had to kill him. So Indra was in his stomach for 1 year. He couldn't come out. And Ritasura only says that only with Vishnu weapon, you can kill me. And he only gives that weapon. And then he tears him and come out. So though he dies, so Prabhupada says that Ritasura won, though he died. Because materially, it looks like he died, but then he went back to Godhead. But Indra looked like materially he won, but then he went to his Indra Loka. Because even all the Devatas, they have limited time. Even Brahma has a time limit, 311 trillion years. So who is the real winner here? Though, because few things, this is why we cannot understand sometimes Krishna's plan. We only see from our perspective on material platform. We see that why Krishna did this to me, why Krishna is doing, but we don't understand there is something better plan. We know ourselves how many years? Okay, how many years we know ourselves? Maybe we are 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or how much ever from we know ourselves. But Krishna has been seeing us from many births we have taken. He knows us, and he knows what is good for me. No, so we should always believe on plan of the God, that Krishna only we can do good for me. So then if we think like that, then there is no anxiety. Whatever happening in life, then you think that, okay, Krishna has some better plan for me. Then there is no anxiety, no? It is like, then that is called as complete surrender. So this is from Bhagavatam. Anapeksha shuchir dakshaha udasino gatavyataha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Can someone identify who is this? Who is this?
Is it Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
No.
Sudama.
Yeah, correct. It's Sudama. Okay, it is Sudama. Yes, Mataji. Yes, it is Sudama. So that person, we cannot understand on a material platform, because he was very poor, but then always he was meditating upon Krishna. No, always he was thinking of Krishna only. So one day what happens, he's so poor, he has so many children, there's nothing to eat at home. His wife tells him, your friend Krishna is a king in Mathura. Why don't you go and ask some money? Because we are starving here for food. Why don't you ask? So then he goes. He didn't like to go and ask, but then he goes. But then we know, like when he goes there, he was all wearing a torn dress, and she sent some little poha in a potli, and then there he goes, and the Dwarapalakas, no, they stop him by seeing his dress, and then they go, wait, you have to wait, and then they go to Krishna and they explain that such and such person, he looks like this and all. So immediately Krishna understood and he comes running. He was a king, but then he comes running to the gate and he embraces him. And then he takes him to the palace and he does all the Atiti Satkara. No? He washes his feet and he takes care, and then he grabs that poha and he eats, because Krishna's favorite is poha. And he does all that. And then he stays there. I mean, he takes good care of him. He stays for some days, and then it was time for him, Sudama, to leave. And then Krishna asked, okay, what do you want? And then he says nothing, because he's so pure devotee, he feels ashamed to ask anything to Krishna, and he says nothing. So then he leaves from there, and then he's thinking, what will I tell my wife? I didn't ask anything. And then when he reaches his place, to his surprise, there's a beautiful house, palace in his place. And then he sees a woman coming out, and it's his wife, who is wearing a very silk sari and all ornaments and very nicely dressed. And when he inquires, he come to know that she says that after you went, everything manifested here. And because Krishna is there as Paramatma, he could understand, though he didn't speak, Saudama didn't say anything directly, but Krishna understood and he gave everything. So, but then he opts that he preferred to stay outside in a cottage, because he felt that if I be here, I will never be able to remember Krishna. I prefer to stay in cottage. So that is how the mind of a pure devotee. So they are not dependent on ordinary course of activities. Yo na harshyati na tveshti na shochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktiman yasya me priyaha. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. So he never grieves or new. So all the time he's same, just like Prahlad Maharaj. So every time his father was trying to kill him, every day a new plan he used to do, how to kill him. Because when he comes from Gurukul, because he was Narada Muni taught him, like when he was in mother's womb, and until he was a bit grown up, he was with Narada Muni, taken care of him. Why Narada Muni? Because when his mother Kayatu was pregnant, all these devatas come to know that Hiranyakashipu, such a big demon who is troubling all devatas, he is going to have a child who is also, of course, will be a demon. So they come to kill the child in the womb. And then Narada Muni stops. So he says, what, being devatas, what are you doing? And then he says that it is, don't worry, he is the one who is going to get birth is a devotee of Lord Vishnu. So he's going to be a great devotee. There's no harm for you all. You can go. And that's how and then he says, Hiranyakashipu, that your wife is not safe here. Let me take to my ashram. I will take care of her. And then after baby is born, he will be handed over. But then every day she was telling Kayadu the story of Vishnu. But Kayadu was feeling sleepy. She was not much into that. No, she was not into this Krishna consciousness. She was like feeling sleepy sometimes. But then the baby in the womb heard everything, Prahlad Maharaj. So when he took birth itself, he was a great devotee of the Lord. So always he was remembering. I mean, he had taught him all. The Narada Muni had taught him. So he was always meditating upon Vishnu. Shravanam Kirtanam, that is given by him only. The 9 process of Bhakti. No? 9. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So actually when father asked him, what did you learn, my son, from Gurukul? Then he starts saying this. And then he got angry. So immediately he starts beating him, and he tries to change him by putting him under Shukracharya's sons, who was also a demons, no, in that Gurukul. But he changed the devotees there inside. I mean, all the other children also, but he didn't change. So he was like, every day there was a test for him. He was put into fire. He was trying to push from a hill, and he was put into the ocean. So every time the Lord saved him. And also finally, when he also saves when Narsimha Dev, I mean, he was so angry. He says, everywhere Vishnu is there. Is he there in the pillar? He says, yes. And then Krishna came out for his devotee. No, he says, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna says that my devotee word, he will never fail. So to keep his words, Krishna come out of the pillar. like a Narsimhadev. No? So this person, he's always who is in the renounced both auspicious and inauspicious. So this devotee is very dear to me, Krishna says. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatamanaapamanayoho shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha tulya nindasu tirmauni santushto yena kenachit aniketastiramatihi bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Who is one who is equal to friend and enemies, one is occupied in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. So taking honor and dishonor same is not easy, and that too, and treating an enemy and a friend same, is it easy? How many of us can do this? How can you treat your friend and enemy on an equal platform?
No, ma.
It's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult. So we can see from Shastras, but Krishna says, such a person is dear to me. So here, how? I mean, there's an example of Amrish Maharaj. So Amrish Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord. Always, he used all his senses in worshipping Lord. So Bhagavatam says that he with eyes he used to see the form of Lord, with the nose he used to smell the tulsi that was offered to Lord, with the hand he used to he used to have the prasad of the Lord and clean the temple, and with the legs he used to walk to the dham of the Lord, and with the mouth he used to speak the glories of the Lord and have prasad, and with the ears he used to hear the glory of the Lord. So all his senses he engaged. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo, something will come. Vasansi. So that explains that how he engaged all his senses. So a devotee of Krishna is famous in all the planet. So he was very famous everywhere, even in the Devaloka and even the spiritual world, everybody know. So once this Durvasa Muni come to know, and then he becomes envious of him. And Durvasa, you know, right? He gets very angry for a simple thing. He gets very angry. He gets agitated very soon. So he comes to know, and he thinks that I want to somehow defame him. I want to make him fall down. So he comes down, and then what he does, it was on Ekadashi, next day, Dwadashi day. He had kept whole day the Ekadashi, and it was a Dwadashi day when he had to break his fast by he had kept a nirjal, and with water he had to break. So that time he comes, and he says that I am going for a bath. So until I am come back, so I'll be back. So Amrish Maharaj, because guest, he has to honor him, cannot leave him and have food. So he has to wait. And then time is running, and this person, he went for bath, and he's a mystic. He's seeing from there. He's waiting. The time is running. What is Amrish Maharaj will do now? Whether he will have water or he will, if he has, then I will not leave him. So he thinks like that. And then now the time was running. The priest in his assembly, they say that, okay, if you don't have water, then whatever the austerity you did, everything will be failed. There's no point use of you are keeping the Ekadashi, because the Parayana, during that time you should have it, the water. So he says just have one drop of water so that you're not displeasing your guest also. So that at least, and also your Vrat also, it will break there. So you can have, he just had one drop, and then immediately this person comes to know, and he comes there. And he says that you have, you insulted me. And then he says that, so he feels insulted, and with his hair, he makes one fire demon. The fire demon was born, but that fire demon could not kill the Amrish Maharaj. But then it got burned. The Sudarshan Chakra came and killed that fire demon. And immediately the Sudarshan Chakra, what it does, it comes behind the Durvasa Muni to kill him. Because Sudarshan Chakra, that is protecting the devotee. Because he prayed. When the demon came, he was just prayed the Lord. So then immediately the Vishnu's Chakra came, and then it came to kill him. So this person, the Durvasa Muni, started running for his life. And then he first runs to his father, Brahma. He goes to Brahma and he says, please protect me, father. And Brahma says, sorry, I cannot do anything. So you go to, then he goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says that even I can't do anything because you have messed up with the devotee of Vishnu. I cannot interfere in this. So you have to go to Vishnu only. And then he goes to Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu says that I can't do anything because Sudarshan Chakra, once it is left, he can't stop. Only possible is Amrish Maharaj may be able to stop. Go and ask forgiveness from him. If he forgives you, then the Sudarshan Chakra will, you can be saved. And then he goes. So it is said that the yogis, they can travel to any place. No, they are mystic, but they can't stay. He went to Vaikuntha also. He was able to see Vishnu, but he don't have place to be there. Only the devotees can stay there in spiritual world. So he comes back. So it is said it was almost a year because the time is relative. So that by the time he comes to the Earth planet, it was 1 year. And Amrish Maharaj was waiting all the time without having anything. And then he comes there and he falls at his feet. And then what did Amrish Maharaj say? He praised the Sudarshan Chakra and the Lord, that if at all I have done any little devotion, then please forgive him. See how he treated his enemy. So this is our devotee is, then the Sudarshan Chakra goes away. So this is how that, so Krishna says, such a person who is equipoised in any situation is a dear to me. It's a person dear to me. So you can see him running to other planet. So now he's coming and he first came here Vaikuntha and then here we can see Amrish Maharaj. So this is last sloka. So the ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यतोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत्परमः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So we all have a different goals in material world, but who makes Krishna the supreme goal? So Krishna says he is very dear to me, who has so much faith in Krishna's words and he engages himself in the devotional service. So this is a Bilva Mangala Thakur. This comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was before becoming a devotee, he was a very rich, he was born in a very rich family, aristocratic family. And he was it was his Shraddh of his father. His father Shraddh ceremony was there, and he was addicted to wine and women, and like he was not he had all the bad activities. So what happened? On the Shraddh day, he wanted to go to her house, to the prostitute house, and then he says the priest that please you finish this all the puja and rituals very fast. And then he gives extra money to finish it fast. He didn't have even patience to see that ritual. And then he somehow finished and then he leaves. And on the way, it was raining very badly. So somehow he reached there to her house. It had become too late. So this lady thought he's not going to come today. So let me sleep. So then what she does, she closed the door, she sleep. So by the 12 o'clock, he's knocking at the door. And then she surprised, how come? Who's that? And then she sees him. And then he says, you know how much I love you, that I took so much of difficulty, and it was my father's Shraddh and it was raining badly. I had to cross the river. I caught hold of this one. I thought it as a wooden log, but it happened to be a dead body. Because he couldn't even make out. He was so blind, he was so lusty, he couldn't even identify what was it. And then he says, I had to climb this wall, and then he took help of a snake, thinking it as a rope. He couldn't even see that. And he says all this, you know, so much I love you. Then she says, see, if had you shown so much of love to Krishna, you would have got it by now. Because it is said, the spiritual master spoke. in her body. His spiritual master, because whoever takes initiation, the spiritual master is responsibility. It becomes spiritual master responsibility that he comes in every life, and until he takes that devotee back to Godhead, he will not go. So that is the spiritual master. So he comes, and he that lady tells him, then he feels ashamed, and immediately he feels, so okay, then he leaves everything, he goes to Vrindavan. So he thought he will meditate upon Lord, and he feels ashamed of himself. And when he come to Vrindavan, he sees a couple going there, husband, wife. And then immediately some bad thought came to him. And then what he does, he goes to that person and he says that, I want to speak to your wife alone. And then that man agrees. And then they did they took care of him. They fed him in house and all. And then that person, he allowed to speak alone. And then what he asked, mother, can you give the hairpin? We use as a clip for keeping flowers and all that, the hair clip the women use. So that clip he asked. And then she gives. So immediately he takes out both the eyes. He takes out both the eyes, because he feels so ashamed that until my mind otherwise always get engaged in this sinful things. So why I should better not have eyes. So he removed. And then our Acharya says that we should never do this. Anukaran and Anusaran. We should never do Anukaran. We cannot exactly copy what the pure devotees did. But then Anusaran means following their footsteps, following how they reached goal. So he after that, it is said that many times Krishna used to come and feed him personally, to feed him, because he was blind, and he used to play kirtan. And there was a temple, and the pujari used to come. He used to tell that pujari every day that today Krishna is dressed so beautiful. Krishna is looking so beautiful. Every day he was saying different things. So this pujari got it out. I think this person must be making some story. He's not. So what he did, one day he didn't dress him anything. He put only leaves, covered with the deities with the leaves. And he wanted to know what does he say. Then Bilvamangala Thakur, he says him that what happened? Did Krishna become so poor that there's no proper clothing for him? So what happened? So then he realizes that he's really a pure devotee. He's able to see the Lord. So he don't have eyes. He was able to see the Lord. So this is the story of Bilvamangala Thakur. So with this, the last 6 slokas which Krishna explains about the qualities of a pure devotee. So if we want to become dear to Krishna, then we need to develop at least one quality if we develop, because there are so many qualities which Krishna mentioned here. With this, we come to the end of the chapter. Only through devotional service you can know Krishna. So Hare Krishna, we all can chant 3 times Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So this is the overview. So Krishna's inquiry, impersonalist or personalist, and Krishna explains about the difference between 2, personalist, impersonalist, and supremacy is highest is the personal feature, that is Krishna Bhakti. And then progressive stages from Ananya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Nishkama Karma, Sakama Karma, and then Dhyana, Dhyana, and renunciation of fruits. And then qualities that endear Krishna from 13 to 20. Okay, we have come to the end. So any questions on today's chapter? You may ask. Okay, Shraddha Sadhu Sangha, that one, Isha Mataji? Or Shravanam Kirtanam? Which one? Okay, stages of Bhakti. Shraddha Sadhu Sangha, that is okay, this chapter I told about the process now. That is Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu. Okay, stages of bhakti. Okay, that Ananya Bhakti, first one. Ananya Bhakti, then comes the Sadhana Bhakti. Then third one is Nishkama Karma Yoga. And fourth is Sakama Karma. And fifth is Jnana. And then sixth is Dhyana. Seventh is renunciation of fruit. So, how will I come to know my relationship with Lord Krishna? Currently, we have to worship him as Father Mataji, Eternal Father. That is very advanced stage. When we become so advanced, and we will only get to know that when you come to that Ananya Bhakti stage. So we have to do a lot of sadhana for it. So only after that we'll become to know. So as of now, we worship him as Eternal Father. Okay, any other question?
Mataji, this is not related to today's topic, but just out of curiosity, how do you apply that tilak on the forehead? The two lines and this. Is it possible for you to show it once? I mean, just out of curiosity.
That is secret. I'm not going to share with anyone. No, actually, you know what? So they do usually. I have a stick. Okay, that tilak stick is there. I took in Mayapur last time. It's just a. I'll show you. Let me get it. So this is the tilak. I mean the, what do you call this? Gopi Chandan. Chandan. This is the stick. Simple. Little water, do it, and then just keep it like. And then with this, you do tulsi. This is tulsi leaf. This is a feet, Krishna's lotus feet and tulsi leaf. So, yes, Prabhu. Actually, the senior devotees and all, they just do with the hand. How they do? They just put it like this, and then in between they put like they will rub it. That is also easy. That is also possible, but it doesn't come so accurately. So I use this one. Some will do with just with hand. Yeah. Yes, Fatima Mataji, correct. You get that. This is something brass. You may get in, I think, all ISKCON temples. I don't know. You can check. This I took in Mayapur. You get it online also. Anyone interested can order online also. This is available.
Mataji, what do we get to see in Mayapur if we go now?
Now Kartik, no? Kartik, yeah, you can go there. The daily puja will be there. Temple is there. There's a temple, Panchatattva deities. The main the temple is there. Only that TVP is not there. And also there are 9 islands. So you always go in association of devotees, Mataji. If you go with family, then you will miss a lot of things, because when we go with devotees, we have Sankirtan together. Like from morning to afternoon, they'll be taking us all around the place, all the nearest temple and all that. And then we do, on the way also we do Sankirtan, and then evening there'll be lectures from Syria devotees. So very nice lectures will be there. After lectures again, they will do some Kirtan. So it will be very nice. And you will get all the 3 times you get to have prasad. So it's so beautiful. So you should come along with devotees. It is like if you're family, both husband and wife are into devotional service, then you can come like that.
Okay, so you're going to Jagannath Puri also then?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyone of you planning here? Still there are some 15 rooms, Prabhu was telling today in Bhagavatam class. Okay,
Hare
Swati
Krishna
Mataji,
Mataji.
congratulations. Happy to see. She says that I'm happy to share with you, Mataji. Whenever I listen to Bhagavad Gita class, my baby kicks me continuously. No, I'm feeling so blessed. So nice. So Prahlad Maharaj, he's interested to hear already. So nice. You're so lucky. I see. He's very lucky. He's able to hear now only. Yes, Prabhu. Rahul Prabhu, you had some question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. What
Hare
is there
Krishna.
in Puri? Because last time I was there for Ratha Yatra. So this is not a Ratha Yatra, right?
Yeah, now, okay, you had been for Rath Yatra. Very
Yeah.
nice. So, no, now Rath Yatra is not there because that in that crowd it is very difficult. No, we can't because we are more than 350 people. So
Okay.
it's not easy. We
What type of
usually
yatra is
in
this?
temple. Spiritual yatra. It is basically for association of devotees. Na? You don't get to
Okay.
meet devotees and
Okay.
also
Okay. It's planned by
and
ISKCON, like ISKCON
planned
community.
from ISKCON. Yes, ISKCON
Okay.
Mangaluru.
Okay. Okay. I thought it is from Jagannath Puri something.
No. From ISKCON.
Okay. Okay, fine. Because recently I was there. So it was a
Oh,
very
very nice.
cool experience for me.
Oh,
For the first
very
time
nice.
I
I
was
think.
there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I was
I
there for
think.
4
Did you
days.
pull the Rath?
No. I couldn't do that. But then we got a chance to be in front of the idol for some time for
Okay.
doing kirtan and all.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I want to ask, why is Tulsi Mala recommended and not Rudraksh Mala for chanting? If we were to chant
Rudrakshmala.
through Rudraksh Mala, we can chant on Rudraksh Mala also.
I have not heard about it. Why it is not? I think I'm not very sure on why Rudraksha Mala is not there. No idea, Prabhu. Not. I don't know
Mataji,
much.
I guess that because Tulsi is a favorite of Krishna, we use
Yeah, that
Tulsi
is
Mala.
correct. No, why
Rudraksh
not?
is,
Why Rudraksha? I never heard also. I don't know why it is not used. Yes, Mataji, you want to add something? Yeah, you were saying something. Sorry. You were saying something, Lata Mataji. On Rudraksha, you said something.
No, yeah. Rudraksha is a favorite of Shiva, and probably
Shiva.
because it's because of the size and all those things. Practically, it may be size and the surface of it, which is not smooth. Maybe chanting
Tulsi
may
is
become
favorite
difficult.
for Krishna, and also Neem also is. I have heard like Neem also, if you can use. If not Tulsi, but then why not Rudraksh? Even I don't know. I think maybe it will make you more detached from this world. Rudraksha, Lord Shiva is detached, no? Maybe. I don't know. You need to find out. Why not Rudraksha? Okay, Hare Krishna. I'll check with someone, Prabhu, and let you know. Anybody else has any questions? Okay. Then we can close. No other questions. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha anantakoti vaishnavindi ki jai namacharya Das Thakur ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone. Thanks for joining and see you all tomorrow. Chapter 13.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you Ajay Prabhu. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.